Hello, my name is Demeisha Burns. I represent myself, and I am for this bill. The reason why I support this bill is because it it would change state law to make information available when families are trying to get answers when their loved ones die in custody. That's all I wanted in my case, to know what happened. On June 19th, 2017, my 21-year-old son, Herman Titus, died in his cell in Travis County Jail. Because the sheriff's office delayed releasing details about my son's death by using this law to deny public information requests, my lawyer initially dropped my case. I was left without any answers until investigative journalists with KXAN TV stepped in and discovered what led up to my son's death. They uncovered the surveillance videos for me, the taped interviews, the law enforcement and the other inmates, and other records that showed my son had been complaining to jail staff for weeks about severe pain following his major car wreck, which initially got him arrested. KXN found proof that my son went to get medical attention the day that he died, only to be sent back to his cell where he collapsed. I believe this law prevents family from completely understanding if something could have been done to save their loved ones' lives. When something like this happened unexpectedly, you have so many questions without answer. It makes law enforcement look guilty even though they've done nothing wrong. Like they have something to hide. It's also forces family to spend money and find legal representation just to dig up the truth. And that's something I've never had. I mean, been a single parent since I had my son. So coming up with money for his funeral, I mean, I literally had to stand out on the corner with a sign to help me bury my son. And then just to not be able to obtain any information, the Texas Rangers officers, the sheriff's department detective who knocked on my door, because I've been through an incident like this. My father, he passed in prison and he died from HIV, and it was a constable officer who came to deliver us that information. When a homicide detective knocks on my door and tells me there's no foul play involved, we just want to inform you that your child died, and you tell me you're going to give me full information and keep me involved in the investigation so I know in the process of trying to bury my son what really killed him when he was a healthy kid, that really just upset me. Then you bring Texas Rangers into it and you study telling me, hey, there's no foul play involved, but you're study moving in secrecy and you're not letting me know nothing. I understand that I'm a young parent, but I raised that boy by myself. He's been my life, until I had my girls, and all of them, they're my life, and I just felt like through the investigation, I should have got some type of information once the investigation came to a cease, even if it was just to say, hey, he had a random heart attack, and we don't know what caused the heart attack. You're going to have to talk to the medical examiner on that information, but this is what our investigation came out with, it would have been helpful. And then to get an attorney to find out that the attorney can't get any information and can't tell me nothing. I mean, it's been a year now, almost 2 years. I'm 3 months away from 2 years of my son's death, and all I have is what KXAN came up with, which still leaves a lot of questions about his death. Like, I still have a ton of questions because I just don't understand how, with all his complaining in jail, with the fact that he fell into a 30-foot bank into the creek on 183 and 51st, how through all of this and the hospital visits, yet first of all that y'all only treated him for blunt force trauma and never treated my kid for anything other to see if he had any internal injuries after falling off a 30-foot cliff into a creek. I don't understand how through all of this that just something as simple as I can't feed my fingertips, that the sheriff's department was so not properly trained to just call 911 right there. You take him to medical, because that showed in the video, and bring him right back to his cell where he collapsed into a seizure and straight into a heart attack. and you still couldn't save his life. But you could have saved his life had you just gave him medical treatment or kept him in HSB from the time of the car accident to the time that he was in county jail and kept some type of eye on him. It could have saved his life for him to stand trial for whatever he was in jail for. You know, it just would have been helpful. But in closing, once again, like I said, I'm for this bill. I mean, at this point of my grieving process, it's just a lot of anger. So I just, you know, I hope y'all pass this bill. It's probably not going to benefit me because doors has been slamming in my face throughout this whole process. But for someone else, like the Dryers or anybody else who happen to experience exactly what I'm going through, this bill being passed will help them because people deserve to know. The police officers, I mean, families want to stay involved. Families want to be in the loop. I mean, especially, this is your loved one, regardless on what crime they ever committed. The point is, there's still people out here that love and believe in them. And just the basic information should be enough, you know, just so we can go to bed at night and not cry our eyes out wondering what happened when you don't get real answers. But thank you.
Any questions? I understand your frustration. You certainly have a right to this information. So I hope this bill does help you, actually. I really hope it does.
If it do, it'll be kind of too late. I mean, I only got to like June of this year to even get any type of petition filed for a lawsuit in the fact of his death. And like I said, right now I'm being completely railroaded. This is my second attorney who's dropped the case and told me there's no legal findings to say that anything went wrong at my son's death. But like I keep telling these lawyers, I don't see how a 21-year-old healthy kid who ain't never had no heart problems can just fall dead. And y'all don't pay no attention to none of the signs. Those officers that's in that jail cell are there to protect us regardless of our criminal act. They're there to protect us and make sure we have our day in court. So therefore, anything that he came to them complaining about, whether it was a headache, his arms hurting, his legs hurting, anything, the fact that his should have been on his records that he was in a horrible car accident, that should have kept him in HSB Medical. That should have had him up under doctor's review the whole time because he literally died 30 days after he got there. So, I mean, I don't know if it's ever going to help me, but speaking today is helping me.